Hello, this is the Provoked Prawn, and this is a video to compare the Logitech G Pro X gaming headset with the HyperX Cloud Alphas. And you can see these two headsets side by side here, and you'll see immediately that they are quite similar in a number of different ways. And in this video, I'm going to be talking to you about the similarities between them and the things that I like and don't like about them, as well as the specs and features that make them stand together and stand apart. Now, I'm comparing both these headsets because I've tested both of them out and I have unboxed and reviewed them separately. I've also tried both the wired and wireless versions of the G Pro X. I'll be talking a little bit about that, and hopefully in the near future I'll be checking out the wireless alphas, but we'll see. This is the wired one for your reference, but what you'll see is when they're sitting side by side, they are quite similar in a number of different ways. You'll notice, for example, the strong aluminium headbands on both of them and the way that that fits together. The also padded ear cups with nice plush padding, and the padding on the headband. The extension of the headbands too is very similar, and an overall aesthetic is very understated. Now, both these headsets are designed to work with both console and PC, although the G Pro X actually works better on PC, and I'll talk about why in a minute. They are also very comparable in terms of the sort of sound and the audio delivery. They both have 50mm drivers, for example, and they both, as you can see, offer a faux leather material with a cushioning that blocks out a lot of external noise. The G Pro X actually has a bit more flexibility in terms of the ear cup setup, and I'll talk about why in a little while. But as you can see here, they're very similar in size and shape, and so the fit is quite similar, meaning they're both comfortable. They're both also very similar in terms of the weight, and I'm going to leave all the specs in the description so you can compare the two together, but they're just over 300 grams for both, so they're very lightweight and easy on the head. Now, it's worth noting that I am comparing the wireless headset, because that's what I happen to have, with the Cloud Alphas, but the wireless and wired versions are very, very similar in terms of the overall aesthetic. The only difference really is the wiring and the wireless connectivity, and that's one of the things I want to talk to you about and why they're worth comparing. I'll also do a mic test later in the video so you can hear the difference between the two. Now, the G Pro X comes in two different variants, the wired and the wireless version. You can see the wired one here with two different connections, a splitter cable, a removable microphone, and a DAC, which is a USB DAC that you can use on PC to get DTS Headphone X 2.0. There's also a wireless version, and I definitely prefer the wireless version because of the wireless freedom that it offers. You can see that version here. They're actually very similar, and you might actually be hard to tell the difference between the two at just a glance, but what you'll notice is there's a bigger USB dongle which delivers the 2.4 GHz wireless, a single charging cable, and then the removable microphone. You'll see with the wired version it looks like there's a lot more cables going on, and that's because you have the ability to connect up different things. Now, the Cloud Alphas also have two cables. You have a shorter single 3.5mm connection for use on console and other device, and then the longer split cable for use on PC, although you can use either on PC, and also a removable microphone. The mic on both headsets is very good. The Cloud Alphas has a very nice headset microphone, ever so slightly compressed, but it does a good job of blocking out external noise, and as you can see, you can easily remove it. The cable also removes really easily as well, and you just plug the single cable into there, and then you'll notice that it has some controls on it. So you have both a volume control and a mic mute button on there, and then if you need it, you can plug in the extension lead for the split cable for use on PC. Now, the G Pro X is quite nice in its design. I think it has a slightly more striking design with the outer logos. Also stands apart for a number of other reasons. The microphone's obviously detachable, but one of the selling points that Logitech pushes with this headset is the Blue Voice software. So this is a bit of technology that allows you to adjust the voice on the fly and customize the sound that you get out of it. This is really hit and miss, and it might be seen as a bit gimmicky. The standard sound is actually a bit preferable in some instances, but it also does do a good job of sort of tweaking the audio. Now you can see the wired version here. There's a lot of different things included with it. You have 2 different cables. Again, it's the same sort of logic as the Cloud Alphas. You have the split cable and you have a single cable as well. It's also, again, worth noting that you have the volume control and mic mute button on the cable rather than on the headset itself. I actually found the controls for the G Pro X to be a bit simpler and more convenient than those on the Cloud Alphas. That also has a clip, so you can clip it to your clothes, so you always know where it is, which is pretty nice. And it's also just less fiddly than it was in the Cloud Alphas, which I found a bit frustrating. Now, both headsets are designed to work on a number of different things. Obviously, you have 3.5mm connection that you could take advantage of, but actually where the G Pro X shines is on PC, because you can plug it in to the included USB dongle, which is included in there. That allows you to then make the most of improved surround sound with DTS Headphone X 2.0 virtual surround sound. As standard, the headset is otherwise only a stereo headset, which is exactly the same as the Cloud Alphas. So the Cloud Alphas doesn't have any virtual surround sound, but the DTS Headphone X 2.0 on the G Pro X does give you that optional extra of better surround sound. You also obviously have the option of using something like Dolby Atmos or Windows Sonic sound if you want, so you can potentially do it. But this DAC is what does the business there. So you basically plug that into your PC and then plug your 3.5mm cable into that, and it converts a stereo headset into a virtual surround sound one. So the G Pro X is a little bit more flexible. The other reason I probably prefer the G Pro X is the inclusion of 2 different kinds of ear cups in the box. So you have either the faux leather, which is designed to block out a lot more external noise, and you can see that here, or you have that soft, velvety soft ear cushion in the sort of form of a cloth one. It's more like a velour style though, and it's very remarkably soft, very similar to the same sort of ear cups that you find on Astro's headsets, and it's really nice to have this option included. Those ear cups are included with both the wireless and the wired version of this headset, so no matter which one you choose, you have the option to swap those out, and I think that's a really nice addition. Whereas the Cloud Alphas, you obviously only have the faux leather. However, if blocking out external noise is your main aim, then obviously the faux leather on both of these headsets is fantastic for that. What you will see when I put them side by side and compare them is actually the ear cups are very similar in size and style. They're both held on by the outer sort of rim of the drivers, and they're easy to tug off because of that, which means that you can theoretically replace and upgrade them quite easily. What you will notice is when I put them side to side, by side, they're actually roughly the same size as well in terms of depth and overall shape. They're also both very squishy with some nice memory foam padding on the inside, which makes them comfortable to wear. I will note that I wish that they were a bit deeper on both sets of ear cups. This is a personal preference as to whether you find that comfortable or not. I found a little tiny bit of pressure on the outside of my ear, but that's obviously going to vary depending on how much your ear sticks out or doesn't, and so it's something worth taking into account. I also think that the G Pro X is ever so slightly more comfortable, but there's not much in it. However, I have noted that several people have said in my previous videos on the G Pro X that it's uncomfortable for them. They say the head is larger, and so they've suffered with issues with comfort with it, which I found quite surprising. But again, this little thing, and it's really a subjective experience after all, and it's really going to be a thing to test out and see whether it works. But what you can see is, like, side by side, both these headsets are very comparable in terms of the size. The Cloud Alphas look a little bit bigger, stand a little bit taller off the desk, but I think it's actually a deception from the angle of the camera, because actually in reality they're both very similar in shape. I think it's very interesting, the setup here. Now, I will say that both headsets deliver great sound. I've recently used the Cloud Alphas and found that the bass is really good. Really loud headset as well, incredibly loud, good sound delivery, comfortable to wear for hours and hours on end. Both headsets don't have side tone in the microphone though, which is worth noting. So what is the conclusion? I actually prefer the G Pro X, but as you've seen, there's not much in it apart from the virtual surround sound and those velour ear cushions. The wireless version is definitely the one to go for. However, they are both fantastic headsets for the money. Stick with me now for a microphone test. Here I am with the HyperX Cloud Alphas, and this is what they look like on the head, which as you can see is a very subtle look, very understated. Obviously no RGB lighting or anything like that. And what you'll hear from the microphone is a very good quality of sound. As I showed in the review, it captures a good sound. It does pick up some mouth wind, as you can hear. It does have a wind shield, but it does pick up some of the plosives as I'm talking, so you can hear a lot of the P sounds, and it certainly sounds a lot more compressed and tinny than my usual microphone or its dedicated mic, so it's not as good quality there. However, it is still a very nice sounding microphone, and the way it's set up means that it blocks out a lot of the external noise, so it doesn't pick up a lot of keyboard sound, which is obviously important. It is, however, not as customizable as that of the Logitech G Pro X. And here I am with the G Pro X wireless. This is the wireless headset. It's currently plugged in for charging purposes, but it's also using the wireless dongle. And obviously the difference between the wired and wireless version is a slight difference in the microphone. Unfortunately, I don't have the wired version to be able to show you the difference, but if you want to check out the audio, you can check out the linked reviews in the description where you can hear the mic from the wired version, but the difference between them is negligible. It's a very small difference, and what you will hear is, again, a very compressed microphone. It squeezes out a lot of the sound, and this is without any of the Blue Voice adjustments, so you can tweak the microphone in the Blue Voice software. Again, check out the review for a more in-depth look at that, and the quality of it is pretty good, pretty comparable I think with the Cloud Alphas, perhaps a little bit more compressed. Not fantastic, not as rich as a dedicated microphone, but good enough to pick up the voice well, block out wind with the wind shield, and again some pop sounds, but nothing too obnoxious in terms of fan noise or surrounding environmental noise and other things. So all told, a good setup. This has been the Provoked Prawn. I hope you found this video useful. Thanks for watching. This has been the Provoked Prawn. Hope you found this video useful, interesting, hilarious, or otherwise. Take a look at these other videos that I think you might find interesting as well. And have a look at the description for links and other information you might find useful. Click that join button to see the benefits of being a member of my YouTube channel. And most importantly, have a great life.